Good evening and welcome to the front line with Joe and Joe. I'm Joe Rossinello, and yes, the Canadian economy is on the brink, and Justin Trudeau believes men can be chest feeders. Did I say that men can be chest feeders in Canada? I think I did. Joe Rossinello with the front line with Joe and Joe. Once again, let us go into the breach. I want you to look at this clip. This is a NATO meeting, and Trudeau was supposed to be there and skipped out. And he's introduced as the empty chair. Play the clip.
The extraordinary panelists that we have assembled. If I can briefly introduce Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, will be coming here momentarily. He's going to slot. Yes, thank you, Prime Minister. That's the empty chair. We have, of course, Latvian Prime Minister Krišjānis Kariņš with us, Prime Minister Kaja Kallas of Estonia, and Admiral Rob Bauer, Chairman of the NATO Military Committee. I am going to take the moderator's prerogative. I'm going to actually change the title of this panel, and I'm going to use a quote from Prime Minister Kallas, that this panel is going to be entitled Defending NATO Territory from the Very First Minute. That was something that you said.
Well, a couple things. One, this is a representation of Canada, and Trudeau decides to, I don't know, do what? I don't know. He cut class. That's point one. Point two, what an embarrassment. And point three, he's introduced as an empty chair. How appropriate. Listen to Justin Trudeau talk to Canadian troops in Latvia. Play the clip.
And you've stepped up multiple times over the past many years, and that's brought you here to Latvia at a time where the world is changing fast and not in good ways. We're seeing back home many of your fellow CAF members supporting as we're fighting wildfires across the country. Whether you were stepping up to help out Fiona last year as a record hurricane, or even a few years before that when we all learned what an atmospheric river was when it hit BC. Climate change is having a real destabilizing and negative impact with more and more frequent extreme weather events at home. And as challenging as it is at home, the impacts around the world where people are in more precarious economic and geographic situations than we are. That's a new reality that has huge implications for security around the world, which is one of the reasons why Canada is stepping up to build the Centre of Excellence for Climate Security in Montreal. That's one of the announcements we're going to be making tomorrow at the NATO summit. Because everywhere in the realm, but particularly in areas where there is particular intersections between geographic and climate realities and conflict, think of the Sahel, think of parts of Southeast Asia. That's going to be a new challenge we all have to deal with.
Couple points. You guys have troops in Latvia. I didn't even know Latvia existed. That's point one. Point two, this guy just doesn't give up. These poor guys have to be there because they were probably ordered to be there. And they have to listen to this nonsense as they put their lives on the line. Last point. Did you see the woman to the left of Trudeau? She looked like she was going to burst into laughter. That is the reaction most people will have when he mentions, most sane people will have when he mentions this climate change is the cause of all the woes of the world. Either that or they just projectile vomit on themselves. I'm sort of in the second camp. I listen to these clips, I swear, I start to gag. I do it for you, though, Canada. Trudeau says the Liberals are focused on creating green jobs. He says oil is dirty and we must use other resources. I want to show you a picture of a cobalt mine in Africa. Play the clip. Couple comments. Does that look like a clean work environment to you? That's point one. Point two, they use child labor. Why is that never discussed. Oh, but they're green jobs. They're green jobs. The earth is going to explode in 2030 if we don't make our sustainable goals. Tell that to the child that's working in the cobalt mine, Justin. Trudeau's tourism minister stands outside a Calgary mosque talking about government handouts. Before I show the clip, you have a tourism minister? No wonder why your country's broke. Play the clip.
Pierre Poilievre, we are going to celebrate the fact that every month you get Trudeau baby bucks in your bank account. We're going to celebrate the fact that Canada now has $10 a day childcare from coast to coast to coast. We're going to make sure that we're there for families, and guess what? If you check your bank accounts, you probably received the grocery rebate just 2 days ago. Why? Because these people behind me, George Shahal, the Prime Minister, and our entire caucus, believe that when you help people, you grow the economy. What do you think about that, Skyview? My friends, we're all in this together. I know that we're going to be here when the PM and George arrive. Have a great time. Happy Stampede, Skyview!
Trudeau's welfare state continues, handing out money for votes. Typical progressive strategy. Once again, the welfare state continues. He wants you on the plantation, and once you get on the plantation, you will never get off of it. Melanie Joly, however the heck you say it, shares some of her wisdom. Play the clip.
You say when conditions allow and when the war ends. So how do you define when the war ends? Do you mean by that, for example, every Russian soldier will be outside of Ukraine's borders, including Crimea?
So, first and foremost, we always have said that it is important that we help Ukrainians fight as we speak. Why? Because one day there will be a negotiation table. One day there will be a diplomatic solution to this war, as in any war. And so that's why we need to be able to continue to support Ukrainians, to increase eventually also their their leverage at the negotiation table. And that's why the counteroffensive that is happening right now is so important.
How does this woman have a job? Is this your best, Canada? Really? How? See this picture? This is what $100 worth of gas looks like in Canada. Oh, Canada. This is interesting. A Nobel Prize winner denounces climate alarmism. He says, I don't believe there is a climate crisis. Now, this is a scientist that's saying this. Couple points. Where is the mainstream media at least covering it? You know, they give airtime to people in the culture, like in the US, on MSNBC, on CNN, people who are in Hollywood. Now, here's a scientist saying that. No airtime whatsoever. He'll be written off as a quack. He won the Nobel Prize. But then again, some real clowns have won the Nobel Prize, so maybe that's not a good standard. But he is a scientist. That's point one. Point two, say he's right. All of your hardships that you're enduring right now is because of climate alarmism. That's what Justin Trudeau is aiming for, sustainable goals. That is what the carbon tax is all about. That is what is limiting oil production, causing you to suffer. Say he's right. What is Trudeau then to say 20 years from now when he's an old man? Oops, sorry. Is that going to be good enough for you? Oops, sorry. Wouldn't be good enough for me. I mean, I'm Catholic. I'd accept his apology. But at the end of the day, he's caused a lot of harm. A lot of harm. Science is saying otherwise. This scientist is saying otherwise. No one is willing to listen. Ontario is projecting to see 5,000 euthanasia deaths alone in 2023. Are you okay with that as a society? You do realize that your society is basically participating in something that's called eugenics, which is you are selectively saying that some people shouldn't live, because those who are choosing this MAID program mostly are poor. So you are saying, without saying it, that certain poor people do not have a right to live. So we are going to legally get rid of them. Is that the society that you want? Is that a society that ultimately is going to get darker and darker, because that door is going to open? The deaths as a result of euthanasia have increased, by the way. That door is going to get bigger and bigger. And I'm going to tell you why, because money is on the line. When you give a corporation or a government an out to pay out money, they're going to take it. And that door is going to get wider and wider, and you may be in the way. And guess what? They'll just delete you off the Excel spreadsheet as easily as they put you on it. This is a dangerous, dangerous idea. Those numbers are going to grow and grow and grow. And this is the result, another example of a society that has abandoned God. The state is your daddy. Well, guess what? The state is no daddy, because the state doesn't care about anyone except the state and power. Jagmeet continues to beat the drum and carry Justin Trudeau's water. He says he stands with Amazon workers across the globe and in Canada, taking on corporate greed. Whatever, Jag. Play the clip.
But the idea being like, we need card check certification, we need anti-scab legislation, whatever other corpus protections, and I propose like, this is what we want. If you want my support, you do this, I'm there.
That's what we're gonna get to. So
That's cool. I like
yeah. We are all for drafting the bill to push, but I also, my man, I want to walk and chew bubble gum at the same time.
Yeah.
While we drafting this bill, let's organize the building.
Jagmeet says no one should work day and night and still struggle to pay bills. Welcome to the world, Jagmeet. Welcome to the world. You're a millionaire. Let's not forget that. What are you doing personally to help these people? You know, I had a doctor, and he said his dad used to have a political test as far as if the politician really was dialed into the people. And this is what the test was. He would ask the politician, how much is a gallon of milk? So I asked that to you, Jagmeet. Do you go shopping and buy milk? Do you know how much a gallon of milk costs? And second, how much do you give to the poor? Not out of your tax dollars, out of your checkbook. Before you start talking about helping the working man and corporate greed, let's answer those two questions. Because, my friend, you are an elite. You have no idea what these people go through. And frankly, I want answers to those two questions. That will tell me everything I need to know, and it'll tell you everything you need to know about Jagmeet Singh. To all my Canadian American friends, if you like what we do on the front line, I'm asking you to give $1. Just $1. Production costs money. We do it for you. We are self-funded, and $1 goes a long way. That's less than a cup of coffee. In Canada, a cup of coffee might cost $5. So you're getting off easy. Please, just give us $1 and we'll keep the content coming your way. God bless you, and remember, stay free.